So it's been a while. As you can see, the engine is mounted. Excuse the wiring, just mocking up the loom. So since the last video, it's been a while. Let's just run over what we've done. So this is a 2-litre Z20let. It's got a LEH or Astra VXR turbocharger. It's got a copy EDS inlet plenum. It's got a X20 XEV manual throttle body, so I can ditch the standard wiring and ECU, and I'm in the process of kind of wiring up the Speeduino ECU. So these are the outputs that I'm not going to need. The way that I've wired it currently, I'll show this, is I've got 4 individual coils. It's going to run sequential spark and sequential fuel. It's got a cam sensor there, and it's got a 60 minus 2 trigger wheel. So all standard stuff, using the standard cooling temperature sensor with a GM inlet air temperature sensor, as the old airflow meter on the standard Z20 used to run that. So what you will see is the F28 is now mounted. So the standard mount sits here. You have to cut that off for the 5-speed, and then you weld it in for the 6-speed. Yeah, it fits really well. The engine still needs to come out because it still needs to be, the engine bay needs to, all the metal work needs to be done. It's been cut for clearance. So as you can see here, we've just trimmed this for now. Obviously that'll be finished, re-welded. Once the engine comes back out. So the plan is to get the car running, or get the engine running on the Speeduino ECU. Once it's running, I'll put it out, paint the engine bay. It's got a tiny bit of rust here which just needs a plate. As you can see, it's got the strengthening plates and various bits and pieces, but I need to do that. The rest of the car is pretty solid. Got some clearance now for the standard alternator. As you can see, plenty of clearance here. I need a bit more clearance for the bottom pulley, but I can sort that out once the engine comes back out. So yeah, as you can see, we're at an equal length shaft setup. We've got a quick rack here, 1.5 turns, lock to lock. The hubs are currently away. I did have some hubs machined, but I sold them. So I've had to get another set to have the same work done. So they're going to run the Audi bearings, full size Vauxhall hubs. That's currently where I am. These are Audi coils, short, which fit. Fit really well. Spark plug cover fits on. Yeah. The rest of the car hasn't really changed. As you can see, I've mounted the electric power steering. My ignition switch fell apart, so I've got one of these kind of panels to fit. As I said, you know, for racing use only, so it's going to give me an extra 30-40 horsepower, and it's got the obviously the old classic nitrous switch, but no, that's just to get rid of the ignition switch, and that's going to sit there. So yeah, short and sweet, but I am cracking on with it slowly. It is now done. As I said, it's got a custom engine mount here, clearance for the belt here, F28 mount. Yeah, hopefully in the next video you should see it. You should see it running. Got the intercooler there. So yeah, thanks very much. So this is the kind of look I'm going for, so I'm using the standard kind of injector loom. It's got the plugs already on the bottom, and it hides the wiring. So over here we'll just have the wires coming out for the temperature sensors, inlet and coolant. Got the idle speed control valve, and then you got the TPS from the back. All this will be kind of covered up. It'll run along here and then down into the firewall from that hole, which will be plugged by this gripe. So it should, as I said, look relatively stock-ish, he says. So yeah, that's the idea. I do need to fit a coolant temperature sensor for the dash, which I'll probably put in here, either drill and tap that, the housing. Should probably be the easiest thing to do. Or put it in one of these pipes that come down from the radiator down here. So I need to do that. We've got the boost control solenoid as well, which should be controlled. So this is a standard solenoid, and the Speeduino is going to control that, which should allow us to play about with the boost a bit. 2.5 inch downpipe. I've got a wideband kit as well, which we need to fit. With the wideband, I've got just an LD Performance wideband kit. Comes with a dash display, the controller, and then the Bosch 4.9, which has got plenty of cable which will run inside the car. So the plan is for that to sit there, and I'll be able to feed the output from this into the ECU, which will allow me to see the AF files as I'm tuning. So hopefully it'll certainly help. Hopefully this will be quite reliable. Comes with there's a few people that have used it. It seems to be okay. is the output that you use for the ECU. So within the ECU software, most softwares, it's a 0 to 5 volt signal, 0 volts being 7.35, 5 volts being 22.39. Anything in between there, then it kind of correlates the output. You can also use it for narrowband, but I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to use it for the wideband, which is far more useful when tuning the cars. So yeah, that's it. Cheers, guys. So this F28 is quite a special bit of kit, really. It's been modified. As you can see, it's got the strengthening support brackets around here, and it's got an extra support bearing for the main shaft. This is to stop any flexing at high power. This came from a guy, a Hungarian, that was built for, gearbox was built for drag racing, but it's gonna take whatever I throw at it. So with that, they recommended that I run this stuff. So it's not cheap, and usually I would just run standard Vauxhall stuff, as I have done for many years. But with this gearbox, the person I bought it off recommended this. That's what he ran for the brief period that he used it, and he recommended that we use this. So about 2 litres of that, which will go in. There's currently not a lot of oil, if any, at the moment, so I need to drain that. But hopefully this stuff should look after that gearbox and take whatever I throw at it. As I said, the power level on this thing is, it's not going to be massive, maybe 250, 260 maybe. You know, you can push these turbos a bit more than that, but realistically you are restricted by this kind of cast manifold, which is not the best design. So probably 260-ish, but you know, that gearbox will take that all day. Clutch wise, so it runs a Z20 flywheel, it runs a Z20let clutch kit. The splines are the same for the F23 and F28, so you can run a Z20let clutch as well, but the pressure plate for the 4x4 Z20let Cavalier and Calibras just give a bit more clamping force. So again, overkill for what I'm going to use it for, but reliability. So yeah,